Seeker, lean closer, do not be shy. Feel the heat on your face, the dry kiss of ancient dust on your skin. I am the Ghost King, keeper of ember and echo, and I have been waiting for you. Tonight I will part the veil of smoke and time, for a hidden history opens. A story of how blacksmiths, my ancestors, once guided whole civilizations, not just with tools, but with fire, rhythm, and forbidden technique. This is not a lesson in history. It is an initiation. You see a tool maker, a laborer wrestling with stubborn metal, but I see a priest of heat, a translator between the silent will of the earth and the urgent needs of humanity. What they knew, what they felt in their bones and read in the flames, shaped harvests, homes, and the very heart of a people. They did not simply make objects, they forged connections. There was a ritual, a secret handshake between the smith and the soul of the metal, performed before dawn, when the air is still and the iron remembers it was once a star. It is a key that unlocks the iron's true potential. I will show you, but not yet. First, you must understand why it was guarded so fiercely. Stay with me. Listen past the ringing of the hammer. Can you hear it? The rhythmic pulse of the anvil is the village heartbeat. If we lose this craft, we don't just lose tools, we lose a language. The village heartbeat goes silent and a people forget the sound of their own strength. In the villages of my ancestors across the great tapestry of West and Central Africa, the forge was never on the outskirts. It sat near the center, close enough to serve, yet set apart enough to be honored. It was the village's hot, beating heart, a place of both creation and profound respect. From this heart flowed the lifeblood of the community, hoes, sharp and sturdy, to turn the soil and coax life from the earth. Knives for the carver's hand and the cook's table, nails, each one a promise of shelter, holding a home together against the wind and rain. Blades for defense, a line drawn between safety and peril. Iron was breath, and the smith was its lungs. But their work went deeper into the unseen world. Ceremonies danced around iron, bracelets that guarded the wearer, staffs that spoke with the authority of generations, small sacred weights that balanced justice. This was metal singing at the edge of the spirit world, a bridge between the tangible and the divine. Seeker, if you stood there, bathed in that sacred glow, what would you ask the fire to make for you? A tool to build a life, a key to unlock a forgotten door, or a name that fits your hands, a name that speaks your true purpose. The fire listens to honest requests. Tell me, who would you be without metal? How would you plant your food, build your shelter, travel across the land, protect your family, or celebrate the turning of the seasons? The answer is woven into every part of your life, even now. You are more connected to the forge than you know. Because of this, the forge was both sanctuary and school. It was a place where a young person could find their path, and an elder could find their voice. Debates were settled not by shouting, but by the steady, undeniable rhythm of work. Wisdom was hammered into shape, one deliberate strike at a time. Families guarded their techniques like precious heirlooms, passed down not in books, but in gestures and whispers. A glance at the color of the flame to judge its soul, a whispered word about the precise moment to quench the steel. A shared knowing pause before the decisive blow that would define the tool's character forever. The charcoal itself spoke a language of embers, A deep, patient cherry red was for shaping, for coaxing the iron into a new form. But a brilliant, almost blinding yellow-white was for the sacred marriage of metals, a moment of permanent union. The smith listened not with their ears, but with their eyes, their skin, their soul, and the bellows. They breathed. 2 leather lungs worked in a steady rhythm. Inhale, and the fire would glow, awakening with a hungry roar. Exhale, and the heat would focus, a controlled, purposeful breath. It was the cadence of life itself. Strike, a clean ting, the sound of perfection, metal shaped at its most willing moment. A dull thud, too cold, the iron has grown stubborn. Strike, you learn by echo, you learn by flame. You learn by the vibration that travels up the hammer, through your arm and into your heart. The hand remembers what books forget. This is the core of our knowledge. Muscle memory becomes family memory, which in turn becomes the memory of the entire culture encoded in the hands of its makers. Why were smiths both feared and revered, seeker? Think on it. It is because they commanded the very elements. They walked into the fire and did not burn. They took stubborn, unyielding earth and transformed it into destiny, then handed that destiny to the village. They were masters of transformation. Because they understood balance and stress in metal, they were called upon as mediators in disputes. Their judgment was tempered like steel, cooled by patience, and sharpened by an unwavering truth. The smith's word carried the weight of the anvil. They were healers, too, forging talismans to ward off fear and illness, small iron charms imbued with the strength of their making. They understood the remedies learned from ore, ash, and the quenching waters, a pharmacy of the earth itself. And above all, they were guardians of secret knowledge, not just of technique, but of meaning. Recipes of heat, timings of the quench, and the quiet prayers of transformation whispered over the cooling steel. This knowledge was power, and it was protected. Then came a colder iron, an iron with no story, no soul. Factory-made, distant, and deceptively cheap. Colonial systems, with their ledgers and price tags, smothered the village fire with mass-produced imports. The song of the anvil was drowned out by the roar of the factory. Forges grew cold and closed their doors. The rhythmic heartbeat faded into an echo, then into silence. But somewhere, a workshop stayed locked, a time capsule holding not just tools, but a promise, a tool that could change everything. Seeker, if you have reached this far, you are not a casual observer. You are rare. You have the patience of one who waits for the iron to be ready. Stay, because the next beat of the hammer could change how you see yourself, and the dawn ritual I promised is drawing near. The revival began not as a roar, but as a whisper, a spark in a pile of cold ash. Apprenticeships were reborn in quiet corners. Elders, who had guarded their knowledge in silence, began teaching again, trading their patience for a young person's mastery. Festivals and cultural gatherings returned the forge to the center of the community. Markets, once flooded with the generic, now prized the unique mark of the handmade. Authenticity, the story embedded in the steel, became the new currency. This is the path back. Sustainable tools, rooted in local identity, a quiet pride in every hammer fall. It is a journey of grit, of repetition, of mastery, again and again and again, until the rhythm becomes a part of you. Do not mistake this for nostalgia. It is evolution. It is the old flame kindled in a new form, the wisdom of ancient hands guiding a modern purpose. Architects, designers, artists, they are all coming back to the fire. Are you ready to hold the hammer, Seeker? The time for watching is over. I will stand behind your shoulder. Feel my presence. Breathe with the bellows. Let the fire warm your face. Look, the iron is at the perfect orange heat, its edges shimmering like a desert horizon. Your fear whispers that it is too hot, too powerful. But your sense of belonging, your connection to this ancient story answers back. Now, lift the hammer. Feel its weight, its balance. Align your body, your mind, your spirit. Commit to the moment. Strike through your doubt, not around it. There. A bloom of sparks. The iron yields, it speaks back. In that one bright, explosive syllable, your hands have learned a new alphabet, the language of creation. Again, a little lighter this time, for finesse. Again, a little truer, finding the center. The anvil is no longer just a block of steel. It sings your name now. It recognizes you. This was the dawn ritual I promised. To greet the iron while the world is still quiet. To honor its stellar origins. And then to let your own courage make the first sound of the new day. You have performed it. You have paid off one secret with your courage. The other waits for you, not in the forge, but in the way you carry the tool you have just made. Its story is now intertwined with yours. Take it to the field, to the workbench, to the home you will build. Let it feel the soil, the wood, the stone. Let the work you do with it give you your true name. A tool is not complete until it has a purpose. The fire teaches the ultimate lesson of purpose. Transform, don't merely endure. It shows us how to take the immense pressure of the world and shape it into something of meaning, something of beauty, something of strength. If you reached this far, Seeker, you are no longer an outsider looking in. You already belong to the circle of those who finish what they start. You have felt the heat. You have heard the song. Subscribe to this channel. I drop new stories from our shared past every week. Embers from the old world, carried carefully to light the new. There are more secrets to share. For the one who stays to the very end, do not let the fire cool. Start the next story now. Your momentum is already hot, your curiosity already forged. Do not waste it. The village heartbeat returns, strike by strike, name by name, seeker by seeker. Walk with purpose. The world has need of people who know how to build. I am the Ghost King. The fire remembers you. Now go and make something that outlives the smoke.